I mean it.
And welcome to another installment of Kalamazoo Beer Exchange I Tap That Beer Tasting Series. We got a great Halloween treat for you today, guys. It's Southern Tier Pumking. Awesome pumpkin beer. I'm so excited to talk to you guys about it. And the story begins back in 1620. We've got the Pilgrims out at sea. They're out of beer.
What are you gonna do?
What are we gonna do? Well, you can't drink the seawater. The beer was how they had fresh water, basically. So they saw land. They had to make landfall. And we've all known about Plymouth Rock. If you've grown up in America, you know the history. They land, and what happens? They meet the Native Americans. What do they introduce them to? The Holy Trio. You got maize, the beans that can grow up it, and then gourds at the bottom to put the nutrients back in the soil. What's unique about all of this? The gourd. What are we making this beer out of? Pumpkins. No one in Europe has ever made beer out of pumpkins. It's unique to this style.
Let's fast forward a few years. Now that we've settled, we've met these people, the Native Americans, and they've given us gourds that actually are an amazing source of fermentable sugar.
Now, I understand that gourds are a fermentable sugar, but by this point in history, we've already got barley growing in the colonies, we've got hops growing in the colonies. Why are we brewing with pumpkin beer?
You know, it's
why are we making
cheaper
pumpkin
than
beer?
barley. So
Hey, that's as American as it gets, man.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
capitalism at its finest. That's why I like this style, It really is all American, okay? They were exporting their hops and their barley to other colonies, Germany and England, but they said to themselves, no one's gonna buy these gourds. No German brewer is even allowed by law at this point in history to brew with a pumpkin. So what are we gonna do with it? We're gonna make our beer domestically out of it. And who started doing this stuff?
And I mean, the first president and General George Washington, he was a known home brewer that used pumpkin in his beer.
I know George Washington was a porter drinker, that was his favorite style, but there's a lot of evidence out there that just states, not only did he brew with pumpkins, but he brewed several different batches, he had multiple recipes, and it's not just George Washington. There's a lot of history. This style is steeped with it. That said, I'd really like to get to tasting.
Vintage 2015 Imperial Pumking is very effervescent. That means it has little to no head retention. It's deep copper in color, and it's got great clarity. I can see my fingers through the glass.
Oh, wow. I'm getting graham cracker as my #1 aromatic.
Man, on the taste of things, it's cinnamon and allspice, vanilla and pie crust.
I must agree with you on those tasting notes. Honestly, I can tell that they've used a couple different hops in this beer. They did Magnum on the finish, for the bitterness that really kind of rounds out that sweetness. But the Sterling hops really added to those aromatics. And you got to credit Southern Tier for, although they brewed an 8.6% Imperial pumpkin beer, it's
They
very
used
smooth.
real pumpkins in the brewing
Yeah, they did.
process.
Yeah, they did. And a lot of people can't even pull that off, And the fact that they've done this using caramel, 2-row for their malts, which adds to that clarity, I gotta say, man, I'd tap that.
I'd tap it as well.